On Web Tips, we will visit the world's largest not-for-profit education and travel organization for adults. A Catholic school in Illinois reaches out to a Baptist congregation in the Gulf Coast on this episode of Travel Television. On Web Tips, we will visit the oldest organization promoting responsible tourism through conservation. All of these stories and more on Travel Television. And now, on to our first stop.
Among the things Hurricane Ike took from people on the Texas coast was their Christmas ornaments. Small things.
Isn't that cute? I love Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh.
Leave a big void.
When you lose this, it's been likened to losing your family pictures.
Jill Crone's family suffered a flood 13 years ago.
This is our house right here. I've been there and I know how difficult it can be.
After Ike, Jill came down with a relief team from her church, Emory United Methodist in North Texas, and remembered what Christmas was like for her family after the flood.
This wasn't debris out on the curb. This was their lives.
Well, we had a lot of ornaments that the kids made, years ago, and they're all gone. So
Jill Crone and the Emory Church began collecting.
Initially, we were thinking a few thousand ornaments would be wonderful.
She contacted other Texas congregations. It multiplied.
Oklahoma, Tennessee, Florida, Michigan, New York State.
25,000 ornaments and all sorts of decorations were collected for giveaways near Galveston and here in Port Arthur.
That is just too cute. Cute.
They're helping so many families find their new normal.
But normal isn't even in sight for recipients like Sarah Vines.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The Vines lost their house in Hurricane Rita 3 years ago. Ike wiped them out again.
Everything that had sentimental value is completely gone.
They brought donated decorations back to a tiny temporary apartment, and the Vines family went to work.
This looks more like what our tree would look like.
They don't know where the gifts came from, but in future Decembers, these ornaments will symbolize new family memories.
I feel like I own this tree now. This is my tree now.
Common Ground was born out of the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. This grassroots organization provides basic services and meals to the displaced Ninth Ward residents of New Orleans. Traveltelevision.org visited the headquarters at the foot of the bridge of the lower Ninth Ward. We spoke to a New Yorker who explained why he volunteered to work at a site that loans tools and provides neighbors with supplies and food.
My name is Daniel Kirchhoff, and I'm living in Queens, New York. I'm down in Common Ground in the lower Ninth Ward volunteering for 2 weeks, and I heard about Common Ground when I was volunteering with the homeless up in west side of New York, and I met some people who came down here, and I was interested in volunteering, but I didn't know of how I do it logistically, and they told me Common Ground would give you 3 meals a day and give you a place to stay, so I figured that would solve that problem. So I contacted Common Ground. It was very simple. They gave me an application form, and that was it on the website. And I've been down here for a week now, and we're cleaning out houses, gutting houses, and just finished up on a clinic, a free clinic, so that's going to be working in about a few days now. And I'm living with the community of volunteers and also residents of the lower Ninth, so I've been listening to a lot of stories, what's going on here, and it's been pretty enlightening and very moving as far as what people have gone through. And they're just really happy to have people down here. They're excited to see people from all over the country that care. And that's part of the reason why I came down here, is I was just hearing terrible stories about how no one's really doing much, or the government especially has been really dropping the ball, so I wanted to do my own part. So it's been a good experience. It's been very interesting, and it's a great place to just find out for yourself what's going on, and also to see people who are starting from scratch again and have an incredible willpower to try to make their lives good again. I went to a Baptist service, and it was just really positive, very moving how they were really hopeful about what's going to happen, but they also realize there's a lot of work to be done here, and there's tons of work to be done, so we really need volunteers, and we need people to just come down here, and even just witnessing what's happening is important. So I hope you can make it down here. Thanks.
To see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.
So I recently had a chance to sit down with Mary Beth Bond, the author of 50 Girlfriend Getaways, and get her insight as to what she feels are the best and most exciting places for women to go to today in terms of travel and safety tips, in terms of things to do with small groups, large groups, mothers and daughters, and everything in between. And here's what we had to say. Hi, this is Kevin Maybury at Travel Television. We're here at Adventure in Travel Expo, and I'm here with Mary Beth Bond, the author of 50 Best Girlfriend Getaways in North America, and also the recently published Best Girlfriend Getaways Worldwide. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here today.
So what are the growing trends of the girlfriend getaway?
Oh, this is the year of the girlfriend getaway because women now work more, we have more disposable income, and we go for girlfriend nights out, you know, girls' night out, and then we save up a little money to go for a little longer to a beach cabin, a condo, a spa, and we just enjoy getting away with each other so we can talk and we can laugh and have a good time, and we know that it's good for our sanity, our marriages, and our health.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see. So, what gave you the idea initially to write, you know, your first book, which was back, was it in 2003, was it? Or
No, I wrote, my first book came out over 10 years ago. I've written 11 books about women travel, from A Woman's World to Gutsy Women. And the evolution has been, has followed my life, from traveling solo to family travel to actually traveling a lot with my daughters or my girlfriends. I still travel with my husband, and we have a great marriage of 23 some years, but women are traveling more and more with other women because sometimes in a double working income couple, you can't take all your vacation time together. Or very often men say, I don't want to go to Charleston, or I'm going to go on a golfing trip with the guys. Why don't you go off with the girlfriends? So really, the evolution of my books has also fit what's happening in the demographics of American women. We laugh a lot. We talk about things that often our partners are not interested in hearing about. You know, how do you get the garlic smell off your fingers when you're cooking? Things that are just real women things. And most of all, it's really good for our health. It's like therapy. We're able to laugh and have fun. And we're going everywhere. We're going in the U.S. We're doing volunteer work together in as short a time as a weekend to a week. It's easy to go. It makes us feel good about the blessings that we have, that we're able to give back. And we're going internationally, too.
That's interesting. And that relates to your chapter in Worldwide on Lend a Hand.
That's right. I've found in interviewing hundreds of women for these books that sometimes the most soul-satisfying travel is a trip when we give back. And each of my chapters begins with a story of women who actually have done what the chapter's about. And the two women, the story of Mary and Marge, who open up the chapter about volunteer trips, tell that they met 20 years ago and they never imagined that they would leave their partners, take their precious vacation days, and go and work in a school to help others, and how it made their own relationship as friends deeper. And then in fact, it was one of the most meaningful things that they did in the entire year. You know, women are the nurturers, and we feel good when we make someone else happy. And so we look for opportunities, even if it's an afternoon or one day or a couple days, to give back.
Mm-hmm. Do you think also that as they do that and they take these trips together, that kind of brings more back to their own life when they come back in terms of kids, family, friends in general?
Absolutely. You know, it puts a new perspective on your life. It reminds you of all the blessings you have. You come back from a volunteer trip and the glass is half full. Everything is good. I have one story about a woman and her daughter who went on a week-long volunteer trip, and she had lost her father and her brother in the last 6 months. And she went on this trip with her daughter to kind of heal. And she talks about how it helped her in her mourning, but it jump-started a very positive phase of her life where she saw how much good she could do for others, and it brought her very close to her daughter. So I'm a big proponent of volunteer vacations.
So you see a lot more of this coming to fruition in the future?
I certainly do. Women are asking me, and I have 18 companies listed and websites in the back of my book, Best Girlfriend Getaways Worldwide. Websites and companies where you can book a trip yourself or go direct, and you can volunteer for as little as 3 days or as long as you want. And usually the volunteer trips might be half a day of work and then half a day of free time to go and see things. So it can also be like a vacation. Mm-hmm. It's a big trend. I think that we realize we have an obligation, that we are so blessed and we have so much in this country to help others.
You've heard that 60 is the new 40, that life begins at 50, and that you're only as old as you feel. Well, all of those sayings came together to make up the foundation of Elder Hostel, a dynamic organization that opens new worlds to active seniors and retirees everywhere. Discover more than 8,000 educational tours in all 50 states and more than 90 countries with Elder Hostel, the not-for-profit leader in educational travel since 1975. Alongside local and renowned experts, Elder Hostel participants can experience in-depth and behind-the-scenes learning opportunities from cultural tours and study cruises to walking, biking, and more. The list of programs is endless, so visit elderhostel.org to see for yourself. Remember their credo: a love of learning with exceptional people in exchanging environments creates extraordinary experiences. This is what Elder Hostel has been providing for more than a quarter century.
Many student groups have journeyed to the Gulf Coast to volunteer. Voices is a volunteer organization involving community education and service student organization at the University of Texas in San Antonio. The group took an alternative spring break trip to work in the St. Bernard Parish and shared with us a video diary of their trip.
Today we focus on who is making headway. FEMA and Louisiana still haven't gotten around to providing adequate medical care for one poverty-level New Orleans neighborhood. Instead, a bunch of strangers came together and stepped up to the plate.
Right now we have something like about 700 students here, college students, and that done peaked out because 2 weeks ago we had 1,200 students from all over the country here. And they come from everything from your Ivy League universities to community colleges. They have came and volunteered and have made a difference in restoring hope and teaching civic responsibility, which is our main mission.
If I had a hammer, I'd this land. Ooh, if I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out a warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, if I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out a warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, well, I got a hammer and I got a bell and I got a song to sing all over this land. It's a hammer of justice, it's a bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. It's a hammer of justice, it's a bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Shining happy people laughing. Meet me in the crowd. People, throw your love around. Love me, take it into town. Happy, put it in the ground where the flowers grow. Gold and silver shine. Shiny, happy people holding. Shiny, happy people holding. Shiny, happy people laughing.
Welcome to Italy and the port city of Civitavecchia. This is our jumping off point to explore Rome, and we're going to do it by rail, 1 hour away. So welcome to public transportation in Italy. We're in the queue to get the tickets to get to Rome. Hopefully we'll catch the next train. All right, so our little ticket here that got us on the train also gets us at St. Peter's, the station stop, onto bus number 64, 2 stops away from St. Peter's Basilica.
We're joined here today with Peter Pantuso, the president and CEO of the American Bus Association. Thanks for joining us again.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about, before we talk about the main event of what's going to be happening in '09, American Bus Association has a top 100 event that they have every year. So it's interesting you brought a magazine with us today.
We have the top 100 events in North America, and we put out the list of top 100 events every single year, and then we identify each year the best event in Canada, the best event in the U.S. out of those top 100. The best event in Canada this year is going to be the Tall Ships in Nova Scotia, and the best event in 2009 in the United States is going to be the 400th anniversary of the Lake Champlain region and the founding of that by Champlain himself.
And they can find this information on your website, which is www.buses.org.
Right, exactly.
Or also they can go to our website, www.traveltelevision.org, and click on the link to find that information.
And it's good information. We've got information on past events too if they want to search those.
Great, great. So let's talk about the big thing going on this year, the inauguration. It's going to be a travel nightmare for a lot of people.
Well, nightmare and bonanza, depending on how you look at it.
Right, and I've heard that you're going to have anywhere from upwards of 10,000 buses coming into the city.
That's what we understand. You know, we are getting calls from bus companies all over the country, whose customers want to come to Washington and be a part of this historic event. The challenge that we face is not getting them in there. We're very, very good at that. We move as many as 750 million people every single year, so we can bring a couple million people to Washington by bus. The challenge is, what do you do with those buses when they get here? There's going to be as many as 10,000 buses coming to Washington, and we really haven't figured out a plan, or the city hasn't figured out a plan on where to let people off, where to pick them up, and where to put those buses when they get here.
Now, is there anywhere where people can get updates as to what's going to be going on with the planning and such?
Well, they can, again, go to our website, buses.org, as that becomes available. But you know, in Washington, D.C., you have more than 50 police agencies that have jurisdiction not only over the inaugural, but over other parts of the city. And right now, all those police jurisdictions in the District of Columbia and Virginia and Maryland are trying to figure out how to coordinate this effort. Transportation's a key part of that, but they really haven't come up with a plan yet. And with the inauguration only being a little ways away, we hope they come up with a plan soon, because those 10,000 buses need parking spots.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, thanks for joining us, Mr. Pantuso. It was a pleasure having you.
Great, thanks. Thank you very much. Enjoyed being here.
Great.
CrookedTrails.com is the perfect place to go if you want to travel with a purpose. This nonprofit organization works with Indigenous communities to create programs that enrich the lives of travelers. Crooked Trails makes it possible to combine diverse cultural experiences with environmentally, socially, and economically responsible travel. Travel programs are offered for individuals, families, schools, and organizations, and custom plans are available. During a Crooked Trails program, travelers learn about the country and people they are visiting. They must also pledge to travel in a responsible manner that respects and protects the natural and human environment, that benefits the communities economically, and that encourages Indigenous people to control their own future. Visit crookedtrails.com to learn more about this unique organization.
Many groups have given up their own time and vacations to help in the Gulf Coast rebuilding efforts. This is the story of a group of students we found working on the repair of a roof on a Baptist church. These students are from a Catholic school in Illinois, and they traveled to the Gulf Coast over their Christmas holiday break.
Well, it's really important that we're starting our mission with a church, because everything starts with the faith. Faith in your God, faith in your friends, faith in help, faith in each other.
I'm Gary Mitchell. I'm a junior at Fenwick High School, and we're all here to help out with the rebuilding of this church here. And it's been a really great experience so far, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but it's really rewarding, and it's just awesome to be able to help other people when they're in need, because you never know when you're going to need help from someone else. And so just spreading our work ethic and our love and our enthusiasm to people who need hope.
Was last year right after Christmas until the new year. Last year we did drywalling. I was with my family, and I thought it was such a great experience. This year I wanted to bring it to Fenwick, my high school, and have a big group of people come down and help out. So I went to administration, and Mr. Paulette and I got this together, and we came up. There are 47 people down here. What we're doing now is we're taking off roof of houses, and we're gonna put it back together again and hopefully get the shingles up and stuff. This is a Baptist church, and I think this is very special that we're working on a church, considering we're a Catholic school, and that how God has brought all of us together.
Also, New Orleans has sort of been a forgotten cause since Katrina, and we wanted to show that there's still a lot to be done and that it's not even close to being done. As you can see, there's a lot more that needs to be done.
One of the messages we want to send back is that volunteering is very much needed, and that you can always help other people out. You just have to put a little time aside and you can do it, and it's really rewarding because it's good to know that your talents and your abilities can be put to use to help other people have a better quality of life.
Hey, my name's Nick Bortolotti. I'm from Elmhurst, Illinois. My sister, who's actually on this trip somewhere else, she had the idea of coming on this work trip. My dad immediately latched on. They both looked expectantly at me, so I said, fine, okay, I'll go. And I'm actually really glad I came. It's been great so far. We're redoing all the roofs in the background, and I'm just glad I get to help out.
And anyone could do this. It's so simple, and you'll get something back, and you're also giving to people that didn't think they could do it on their own. So it's nice to
see volunteer stories, go to www.projectkatrinavolunteers.net.